A many 8-bit Christmas to you! Yeah, indeed. Coming up on today's Retro Robbins show, we're going to have a look at some new games. We've got another Mech Wars game to review, as well as two that came out earlier in the year that I hadn't got around to doing, as I'll put them in a Christmas special. We're also going to go back to some re-reviews at Crash number 11, and we've brought back Commodore vs Spectrum, a Christmas special. So, if you want more retro fun for the retro weekend with Retro Robbins, join me now, because if you love a bit of 8-bit, you're going to love a bit of this show. Ho, 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 ho. That was dreadful, wasn't it? Oh, well. Tiles. Welcome to the Retro Robbins show with me, Wayne, of course. So if you love a bit of 8-bit, well, hopefully you're going to love a bit of this show, a bit of a Christmas special if you like, even though we've still got, well, 5 days or 6 days to go, is it, before Christmas? Usually the hardest time of year for me as a delivery driver, because I'm having to do extra deliveries, that's right, yeah, and I'm flying my white van man Slayer across the lands and hitting any temporary traffic lights and roadworks and any other jams in my way. Okay, enough of that. What's on today's show? Well, I'm great to say we've got the new Crash annual arrive, and I had a little post of it. Is that a bit low? Probably knowing me. Great stuff in there, Chris. Thank you very much for that, of course. We're going to have a look at some new games. We're going to have a look at a couple of festive games. That's right, a couple of Christmas games. But actually, not too bad considering. Going back to Crash number 11 for part 2, because we've got a few games I wanted to tie up. There was actually a total of 5 games that I wanted to review in that Crash, but unfortunately one of the games I couldn't get hold of. Oh, that's frustrating when that happens. I don't know if it's because it's no longer available or what, but I did try everywhere to see if I could get it. I even posted a picture on the social spectrums for everyone to see if anybody could point me in the right direction to find that file. Big shout out today for Matthew Logue, who's going to be providing a bit of Christmas AY. He sent me a track that I'm going to use. I don't know if you give me permission or not. I think he did. He wouldn't have sent it to me if I couldn't have used it, so I'm going to use it anyway. And of course, the bleeper man himself, Richard Hollins, will be using a few of his tracks. So we will be using real hardware. That's right, we'll be using a Commodore C64C for Commodore vs Spectrum, which will take place on the end of today's show. I promise you, it's been far too long, and we've got to have a bit of Christmas fighting going on between the old Commodore and the Spectrum, haven't we? Also in use, we've got the Toasty Rack for some AY tunes, the Spectrum Plus 2 black one this time, not the grey one, which we're going to use for an AY tune. And that's it in the way of the AY tunes this week. I'm resting the Plus 3, I'm resting the grey one as well. So yeah, and I'm also will be using the Omni 128, which is one I sold it up from Bite Delight Ben Vaseline Intensive Care back in Belgium there. I trip over my words, so I just roll with it, you know. All sorts of strange things go on this festive mind, this festive year, and this festive brain of mine. Anyways, as always, today's show will be run off the Ingo clone of the Spectrum Next, which hopefully next year we'll be using it next to review some great games. And believe me, on today's show we've got some absolute awesome games to review, and a lot of them have come out, and one of them actually I wanted to review a long time ago, but I thought I'd save it up to the Christmas special. That said, if you've not seen this show before and you will enjoy looking at retro games from the retro past as well as the retro future, which could be retro in about 5 years time, who knows, do remember to like, ring that bell and subscribe to me and help this channel grow. Goodness knows what happened to my voice then, but it went up a few octaves. In the meantime, let's get on with the first game that I want to review today. What I've seen played earlier by ZX All Stars and ZX Spectrum Stars, and links to which I'm going to put on. If you want to see new games in actions, they're usually the first to play them, and that's where I usually get my information from. So they usually do a small walkthrough and then they do a bigger walkthrough as they want to complete them later on. But they're usually pretty sharp off the mark and I'm not. Let's have a look at this first game then. Oh, I love this bouncy music that Richard Hollins has done for this album, On Off. Great bleeper sound, of course. Bit bouncy, isn't it? Right. First game we're going to look at today is a shoot 'em up. It's a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, but it doesn't actually scroll. I just got into the habit of saying side-scroll shoot 'em up. This is about a year old now. It's an interesting one that I've played a couple of times, and I didn't really have a full opinion on it. So it does have AY tuning in it, and I think that's what makes the game a little bit. So let's have a look at this game. We'll go for the weight on the loading screen. This game is, of course, a Bulletstorm. And there's your loading screen. Very nicely done indeed. Okay, the keys are QA, OP and space, which is easy. You can see those bullets there are for reloading. The second item you can collect is a speed up, and the one up is an extra life. So starts off quite nicely, just scrolling across. Those are the different ships you've got to destroy, and I'll tell you more as we play the game. Just give it a bit of music. Nice laid back AY opening tune. And it slowly gets more intense. But we're not here to listen to the music, we're going to play the game, and of course you'll get music in the game as well. So what you do to start is press S. Right, to achieve rapid fire, you press the button as fast as you can, really. You notice before they shoot as well, they do tend to have a slight pause, giving you a chance to get out of the way. As you progress through the first level, the screen changes to a new scene. See how they just had a little hint? They go white and then they fire, which gives you a chance to move. They take a number of hits before you can destroy them. Just stocking up on bullets so as I don't run out. See how we start? Whoa, that was a close one. So you just got to duck and dive for a little bit, and then you can move on to the next screen. Now everything starts to get a little bit more complicated. And that guy will zoom at you. He tends to zoom at you wherever you are. So just bear in mind, they don't tend to fire in reverse though. We'll stop first. There we go. Once you get one down, it starts to get a little bit easier. Oh, I've got the extra bullets, but then died. How many bullets have I got? I'm on 99, so I didn't really need them. Oh, zoom at you quick, and I didn't move, did I? The graphics is nice. I must admit the sprites are quite big. The firing bullets, they're bigger than the ship, aren't they, the bullets? Slight exaggeration, they're nearly as big as the ship. It's a lot of ammo for a small ship to carry. But, yeah, you see, when it decides to zoom, it depends where you are at the screen. That one doesn't fire in reverse, so it isn't too bad, but what we'll do. This is one of the hard ones to get, because where they haven't got a lot of distance to travel. See, it gives that little pause and gives you a chance to get out of the way, which I kind of like about the game, to be fair. And of course they start to get a bit more complicated. There I felt a little bit trapped, I was stuck, so he'll come zooming at me, and sometimes that can be a good thing, but oh, they all come zooming at me on this screen, don't they? But they don't get you in reverse, do they? Bullets as well. I'm losing my lives quite rapidly here, aren't I? Well, I've got to be honest, I was quite impressed with that for a shoot 'em up game. I did go a few more screens for that. Graphics are not too bad, they're not over the top, excitable. You can basically see what type of ships they're meant to be, and so for the shoot 'em up, and a good AY tune which actually makes it more feel of an arcade, I would say it's worth a play, and it's available on download, of course, free of charge, or you can tip the coders if you so wish, which is what I always do, because it helps them to, you know, gives them encouragement to do more, because they get a reward for their hard work. A lot of them are just voluntary doing this, aren't they? So, you know, a bit of the homebrew scene. Enjoyed that, I must admit. I'm going to give that a rating, and a respectable 7 out of 10. Do you agree? Leave the comments in the comments below. I don't know what's happened to my voice again. We're going to have another game that I've been holding on to for a while now, that I want to have a play of and give you a full review. Listen to how intense that theme tune. Yeah, I'm impressed with that. Nice AY tune. Worth a play. Give it a go. This game is got AY music in it too, and it's a game I didn't know quite what to make of it. Still learning how to play, to be fair, but I gave it a good go, and I thought, well, you know, in order to see what this game's all about, you've got to have a fair number of goes on it. That's the name of the game. Loading is missing the L. And you get a long intro. Of course, you've got to go and read through all of this to introduce you to the game. Of course, a lot of it you won't understand because it's in a foreign language. However, I can understand the word Kempston and AY tune in any language. So that's what I did, and we'll give it a go. I'm going to turn the bleeper sound off just at the moment. So it starts off quite colourful, right? And you've got that there that you've got to sort of destroy, and you'll get a power up or something when you do. There you go there. Once you click that, I think it's fuel. And I can't quite reach it, so where you destroy them is important. But if you do go off the screen, they sort of disappear. You can get over there. When you get over there, it's just avoiding that guy before he destroys you, to be fair. We can drop down. There are things you need to collect. And you need to collect a certain number of them, which is, there's one of them there. So I've got 1 out of 20 so far. Right, it scrolls reasonably quickly. But if you don't want to fire and get rid of an enemy, just go off and on the screen again, you'll disappear. Fuel is the hard thing, you know, unless you actually manage to kill a few of these, and you've got to be careful because they do catch you up. But sometimes I find frustrating is you're trying to kill them so you can get an F, right, and that gives you a bit of fuel. But if you accidentally go off on the screen, no matter how many times you've hit them, you lose that chance to get that bonus. So that can be a bit of a downside to the game. The AY tune I did find a little bit repetitive because it seemed to just repeat rather quickly. Nevertheless, if you want to get back up there, you usually won't have the fuel to fly up there, but eventually you will come across, well, there's one here. You come across this gate, and by pressing down it will transport you back to the surface, which is going to be pretty useless at the moment until you've collected a certain number of items in order to return to your mothership, if you like. And you need fuel in order to fly over to get back anyway, so fortunately you've got to go back down and find a different direction to go. I think we've been down here, and of course that is slowly sapping your energy, and eventually you will end up losing your life. Unfortunately, to get over there I'm going to need fuel, so I've got to kill one of them. Just encourage him to come this way. You see, there's a problem. He actually sits slightly lower than where you reside, shall we say. Okay, now we can turbo up to the top, we should do. That's it. See how I got to thrust up there, and because of that I can now get to this gate here, and doesn't want me to now. Now, if you haven't got enough fuel, you now find yourself trapped, which can be a bit of annoying, because once you're trapped, you've either got to kill one of these in order to get some fuel to get out of that section, which can be difficult because you haven't got much room to manoeuvre. So for that reason, I played it a bit and I sort of got bored of it. And even though it graphically looked nice, I found it very tricky and difficult to play, because very often I was getting stuck and I was needing to die in order to proceed or get out of certain sections, which let it down. But it started off well, but as I say, that otherwise soon got pretty boring pretty quick. Fortunately, I get to die, and once you get to die, you'll be able to restart the game again. So what do I think of the game? Well, I'm going to be a bit mean, to be honest. I only gave it a 5 out of 10 because it couldn't really get into it, and I gave it a fairly good go and a long play. But you may find otherwise. You may have learned what to do, and maybe it becomes more playable the more you play it. After all, this is only a matter of opinion. So for me, Retro Robbins, I'm only going to give that a 5 out of 10, but a good effort, no doubt. Right, the next game, it's a bit of an exclusive first play, and I've been looking forward to this one because the last game was one I backed on a Kickstarter, and I hadn't even realised till after I started playing it and I saw my name was on the screen. So I thought, this is from Sergey, from Russia of course, and you know, they've been doing some absolutely phenomenal things over in that great country of theirs, and this is no exception. So I'm going to give it a go and give you my opinion of it, of course. Toast rack in action there, you can tell by the quality how voice out coming out, can't you? Love that as well. Yeah, okay, with no further ado, we'll get to see the loading screen first off. And there you go, Mech Wars Caterpillar. And there was a sample at the start of a voice, but of course I faded out the wrong one, but I'm not going to go back. You've got the Bleeper Man himself, who's done the opening music to it, usually with that flickering border for X. Richard Hollings has done quite a nice job, to be fair. I think I better turn it down. So it's a 48K version from the ZX Beagles, and yeah, they've been coming out with some reasonably good games, haven't they? And they're slowly getting better. Each one comes a bit better. Alright, so what have you got to do? Well, we'll get into the game now for you. I like the way it fades out. First of all, big shout out for the fact that you're able to define your keys. To me, that is a must. It's great when you can actually redefine your own keys, because then you can choose exactly where your fingers need to be. Well, you've got survival or you've got a campaign mode, so we're going to go for the first one. That'll tell you what it is you need to be doing. You probably didn't quite make that out, but unlike most Caterpillar games where you tend to stay at the bottom of the screen, you know, you can fire pretty much anywhere. You need to get rid of a bit of shrubbery as well in order to get them. And I like that touch where there's like a spider or something and he shoots a web at you, and of course when that web catches you, you don't want them to get to the bottom as well. And if you do, you just gotta... And if they catch you, it bites the head off you, your robot shakes it about a bit and chucks it away. So you get a fist waving and you get that, and we'll try and get through a few more screens than that. Yeah, if you're quick enough, you can actually shoot the web. You can actually shoot the web. So, all that nasty there is, isn't it? Got to try and send a quick retreat. He's waving his fist. Got that one. We could get past the first one. Oh, he's got me again. Right, if you do die, as you can see, you have to start the entire level again, which is a bit of a shame. But I suppose it's good to get you into the game a little bit, really, isn't it now? Oh, just like that bit. That's me, road rage, when I'm driving and somebody cuts me up. I'm usually out there waving my fist. And because you can't move, you ain't quick. Oh, down to the last one and he got me again. Right, I presume I'm going to click them. Yeah, you get points for collecting them, don't you? So, and the problem is if you shoot them halfway, they tend to. I'm going to try and get that spider if he kills me. Well, he probably will. I'm getting there. I like that. It leaves a little skeleton head behind where you've killed them. Better move out of the way quick. See, ooh, because he got me, he gave it that long enough pause for him to catch up with me and get me. Game over. Let's give it another go. I quite enjoyed that, to be fair. So I feel I'm on the edge of actually getting through this game and completing it now. I think we're moving a little bit closer. There we go. Ha, missed me spider. Got one. Now I'll split him in two. It's going to get a bit harder, isn't it? Oh, I moved right into his path as well. Gonna complete one of these levels. I do so much better when I'm not filming, I honestly really do. But oh, shoot you, sir. Yeah, and that was a pretty good sign that collision control doesn't... You can't walk through the trees, but you can walk through those pieces of grass, okay. Oh, nearly got me then. Now they're working their way back up to the top slowly, so if they get to the top, that could be bad news, I presume. And I've got through the first wave, that's excellent. Didn't think I was going to do that, did you? So there's a variation of the game of Caterpillar, and I don't know what it is, but I think it's got a little bit more personality. Now, what gives it personality is them nice little touches, aren't they? You know, where you see the death sequence where he sort of bites your head off and throws it away, and the anger sequence where he waves his fist at you to, you know, in frustration, because that's the way you feel. And because of that, I quite like it. Now, it's a bit like in school days, the game's got a personality because you just feel like you know each one of those teachers, and because of that, and because it's sort of as it is, you've got those little nice little subtle touches that gives it something that some games just don't feel like games. It feels like you're actually, I don't know how to put this, a bit more than just a game. And yeah, for a Caterpillar game, I know there's been plenty of versions of this, but I quite enjoyed it and enjoyed playing it. I gave it a really good play, and for the first look, I'm going to give that a 7.5 out of 10, and I highly recommend you give it a go. So go to ZX Beagles, download it now, tip the coder, and give it a play. Tell me what you think. But my opinion was a good, respectable 7.5 out of 10. Good music from Richard Hollins, and the gameplay itself is not too bad. Not sluggish in any way, really, for what it does. It's just about right. These sort of games can be a bit sluggish and a bit slow, but I quite enjoyed that. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Well, I put the old Alvida Say Monty AY tune on for a minute there. Right, this next game I've seen played in one or two of the groups, Spectrum for Everyone, that was posted. It looks like it's a newish game that's only recently come out, Battle City 1, where you play as a tank on a I shoot 'em down game. And we're going to have a quick look at the loading screen. There's a loading screen, not bad at all, not bad at all. And it does have AY tune in it. So the keys are QA, OP and space, but, well done, you get to redefine your key. So press left, right, up, down and fire, which will be M for me instead of space. Right, and we're going to give it a go. You can see where they spawn from. So you can see that dot on the little location screen down below. You've got to kill a certain amount before you can move on a zone. See if I can... Oh, missed. Oh, there we go. You can see where he's parking from. If you can get there in time, you can usually catch him out before they... Oh. He's very evasive, isn't he? Oh, he nearly got me. Got it right. Ah, I can see where he's parking from, so hopefully we can... just in the nick of time. He's over in the other corner, isn't he? That's where I like him to spawn in. If you're quick enough, you can get to him. How many have I got so far? So my score's going up gradually. Wow, I think it was a bit rapid firing. Oh yeah, there's different types of tanks, so can I avoid that bullet just in the nick of time? So I can see where he's going down, is he? Different types of tanks, some are slightly harder to kill than others, aren't they? So yeah. And you can blast through walls, look. I think I've just destroyed. The base was destroyed. So that's something you got to protect. So if they get to that, then you die. Yeah, it was okay. I wouldn't write home about it. It was nicely done graphically. A little bit sluggish. I wish the movement was just a little bit smoother. There was a good bit of AY where they seemed to, well, I don't know if it's because of the way I was playing it, but they seemed to evade my bullets quite often. When I'd fire, they'd suddenly turn down or turn away. And I thought, well, that made it slightly difficult, more difficult than it would have been otherwise. But also, to make up for that, if you can find out where they're spawning, you get there quickly, you can fire a bullet, and as they spawn, they can be destroyed. But generally speaking, I'm going to give that a 6.5 out of 10. I quite enjoyed playing it. I probably will give it a go again. Battle City 1 on the Retro Robbins Show. Moving on then. Just warming up my instruments. I watched watched Army of Thieves on DVD, well, on video the other day. I quite enjoyed it. I feel like becoming a safe cracker myself. I'm pretty good at most people would say I'm crackers. Right then, let's have a look at this next game. We've moved to the +2, black +2 to the A white now. It's a bit loud. I've been looking forward to this game. This game does have A white sound in it, and it's a bit of a monster of a game. Loading screen coming up. There we go. You've probably seen this game. You get to choose the language as well, so I'm going to go for English. Drunk Fly presents. This came out last year, I believe, but it's the first time I've actually got to play it, so why not? Nice opening demo, very nice opening demo. Certainly gets you into the game when you got stuff like this going on. I'm about to get beat me up, Scotty. Press any key. Just listening to a bit of the AY tune. Cracking stereo AY tune as well. Okay, so we got your Kempston keyboard. Kempston is disabled or enabled. Your keys would have been QAOP, and you use Q as well to jump, I suppose, so you can configure that. Fire is an odd one because you don't know what that is. The map is M, so I presume fire must be symbol shift or space. It looks like it's a space, so it's space in M, so we could use keyboard. And new game, which will be border effect enabled, disabled. Okay, we'll keep the border effect on now, and we'll get into actually playing this game, shall we? Right, straight away you've got a great opening sound in the... he's just escaped from a glass chamber, and obviously I'm going to get the autofocus right here. Come on, autofocus, get in. That's better. So you need to get that gun. Now to get that gun, there's a barrier in the way, so you've got to work your way around it. And at the moment you can't do anything but jump. So you're pretty fast moving, and the screen just... and if you're flashing like that, you've got hurt, but unfortunately, before you can do anything, you've got to get hurt a few times. Try not to get in the water. You can't go outside unless you've got a spacesuit. So we'll call the lift and we'll try and work our way around to the gun. Because we can't shoot anything yet. Oh, we got to get in quick before we fall back in that water. That was a bad mistake. We won't need to show map. Oh, it was a bad go, wasn't it? We'll try again. This time I managed to get through that section without losing any energy. But I didn't get through that section without losing any energy. But we know what we've got to do now, so we just got to get round over that small jump. That was better. See, I'm a fast learner. That's what we want to do, get over the hard parts. Now, hopefully we'll get to shoot him in a moment. And there's your gun. So when he disappears, we'll click the gun and we can now fire at him. Those red things are barrier, but obviously we can't get through that barrier, but there is a way. If you can see, there's like green power cables that are running round. So I can't get through that barrier, but if I shoot here, I have now destroyed that barrier. And then you can see up there that these green power cables go down here a little bit. Now because they go down, right, we need to sort of destroy that terminal there. We're going to work our way around here. We can't go up there, so there's that space that you've got to get to in order to go outside. I was going to say. After a certain number of blows, he will disappear. We'll just get rid of this bad guy here, so we don't have to put up with him anymore. Hey! We don't need to see the map. We're just going to kill a few things, aren't we? Doing okay. Now, yeah, you can see to the barrier there. That will open that barrier. And this one goes to that one at the top, which is to that terminal. So now we've got rid of those. That barrier is now open. More animation. Ammo is what I'm trying to say. And now we get to this checkpoint. So now we've been activated that checkpoint, we can proceed a little bit further into the game and hopefully be able to get the spacesuit. But believe me, it's not as easy as you think. I don't think we can go that way, can we? Can we go through these pipes? No, no. Those pipes are solid. Can be a little bit confusing. So we've got to collect that. I'm trying to fire exactly where he's at. Have a rapid change of music there. Oh, you get a little caption at the top as well where he's and as you can see, that guy's got a gun. So I need that ammo in order to be able to fire at him. And he's got me. But good thing is, we don't have to go too far before we need to call the lift, don't we? Before we can start this level again. This time I'm going to save a bit more ammunition. What is wrong with me today? Yeah, we've gone through that. So I like it when they don't fire back because that makes it easy for me to kill them. Oh, I don't like it when I can't make jumps that are fairly easy to get to. How much ammo have I got left? Yay! So that one you've got to avoid the Well, I'm going to come to a verdict. A little bit reminds me of Delta Shadow, but with 48K Spectrum graphics and sound, as opposed to the... it's got that sort of intensity. What do I think of the game? Well, I'll tell you what, I thought the game was absolutely brilliant. I thought the graphics were great, the playability was brilliant, the speed of the jumping's quite quick, but you can learn to control it with a bit more practice. For that reason, I had to give it a full 10 out of 10. That's a Retro Robbins special, because I really found it unplayable, and I am now continuously going back to play that game. It's one I highly recommend, so get it on your SD card or etc., or even load it by tape if you so wish, which is something I like to do. I must admit, I still like to load games the old-fashioned way, but it's a Retro Robbins special. It's highly worth a go, and if you don't play that, you're missing out, because that is a quality game, and it has been reviewed in the recent crashes. So, without spoiling it, I would say it got quite a high review. But do they agree with me? Well, get yourself involved in Fusion magazines and go get yourself the latest Crash Annual to find out. Right then, we're going to go back now to 1984 to complete part 2 of Legs 11, Crash number 11, where Crash was a nice 85 pence, but we had some great games in there. But we did not get them all in part 1, so this is a follow-up to that to finish this off. And then, of course, we will have time to have a look for Commodore vs Spectrum. Wasn't me. I haven't used this tune for a long time, have I? Right, we go back to Crash. Part 2 of number 11. That's right, we didn't get them all in, but there was 1 or 2 games that I need to look at, and one of them was a festive, jolly one. Right, the next game I'm actually going to play, turn that down touch, is one that's got the biggest text I've ever seen for choosing your keyboard or even redefining your keys. Yes, this game you can redefine the keys. It's by Powersoft. It would have cost you £5.95, and P. Barsbury was the author. Now, before I tell you what I gave as a rating, let's say what the 7 ratings that Crash was, what they gave it. So, use of computer was given 71%, graphics was given 70%, the getting started was given 70%, playability was given 64%, addictive qualities was also given 45%, so its kind of rating dropped low there for some unknown reason. So the addictiveness wasn't valued that much. Value for money was given 56%. Now, budget games at that time were around about £2.99. So it's, £5.95. It's within a reasonable price game. Its overall rating was given 63%. So what game is it that I'm talking about? Well, back in 1984, there were 2 types of catwalk. There was this one with a nice loading screen, or there was one ladies walk down, and sometimes gentlemen as well, a darning fashion. And straight away you get to choose which language. And any one of those will be foreign to me, so we'll start with number 1. Yes, cheesy bleeper music. 3 blind mice. Right, press space to start. As soon as you press space to start, it'll come up with a selection of options. Right, you can use Kempston joystick, you can redefine your keys, which is amazing, and you can freeze to start the game. So we'll go for redefine the keys, and it's got a nice little arrow upwards. Get the autofocus working. There we go, just bang that in there. Right. Press for up. The autofocus will catch up as soon as I get plenty of graphical characters on the screen, of course. It's got nothing to focus on. And pounce, which we're going to use M. Are you sure these press enter if it's okay? Well, yeah, we're going to go for it. We'll play the game. Whoa. Now, things are being chucked from the window, but the idea is you've got to go in without running into a dog and avoiding things. go around the screen. You can either pounce on them or you can walk into them. And, whoa, it's not easy. I'm making it look fairly easy. One more to get. Oh, I jumped into the dog. Yeah, if you jump up, you jump into the dog, not jump. So you actually pounce into the rung. And because I've done that, it takes an awfully long time for you to actually die, because it's got one of those annoying, almost slow heavenly raises to the top of the screen, which in Monty Mole was horrible. This one doesn't have a tune going up the screen though when you die, it's just the bleeping effect slowly arising. But any minute now I'm going to get off the first screen. Oh, it's dreadful. And then we move on to the next screen. Well, you've got to catch the birds this time, and to do that you need to jump on that moving platform. Run into any of them gentlemen, or security guards if you may. Got one of them. And you won't therefore last too long. You do not want to... Oh, was that over the side? You do not want to fall off, because you will, unlike most cats that can land on their feet, this one doesn't. This one lands on his back. You don't want to jump too early, otherwise you won't make it. So we've got 3 so far. Now they climb upwards. So I'm doing quite well. Got a couple more to get. But that's helpful sometimes when they actually end up going where you want them to go. One more to get and he's at the top, so hopefully. And as predictable, he's going to go up and that guy's going to stay on that level, is he? No. Now the bird's going to follow the guy around now, so it's going to be quite hard to get. And I got it. Had 2 screens going in. Oh, this is where it gets really interesting. We're in the graveyard now, and we've got to avoid witches and anything else. Now they look more like, well, there's a mixture now of birds and what are meant to be mice, but they look like little circles, don't they? And there's all sorts of little red things starting to appear, which are being fired from the witches, but they stay there as a permanent thing. So if you do not collect everything before that gets too many red things on the screen, well then you're dead. So as I say, it's got a really low, I'd say, well, it got an overall rating of 63%. Now this is sort of, you've got to jump over that red thing as it moves, and I thought, apart from the death sequence, some of the graphics are quite interesting. And is it playable? Well, I felt I kind of enjoyed it. Obviously the death sequence was annoying with that slow raising, because you just want to get on with the next go. But as a game goes, and it was really one of the early games, it had something about it, and I did find it kind of addictive, even though it got such a poor rating. We couldn't expect AY sounding these days, because obviously this was out before AY chips were used in any Sinclair machine at all. So what did I give this? Well, after playing it for a bit, initially on my first thoughts I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. I didn't like it. But I played it a bit more, gave it a real fair go, and I thought, you know what, it's got a charm about it. And because it's early, and the graphics are reasonably good, those sprites look, you know, decently done. And it was quite easy and controllable. Obviously, you've got to get to the cat food at the top on this level. I got into it, I enjoyed it, and for that reason, and I suggest you give it a go, I gave this a 7 out of 10. Why not? I really enjoyed it. Okay, let's move on to the next game that I didn't get a chance to do in the first part of Crash number 11. Right, Right, the next game, I'm going to give you use of computer 58%, graphics 62%, playability 59%, getting started 59%, addictive quality 60, value for money 63%, overall rating 60%. It's Bomb Scare, and it would have cost you £5.95. Producer was Dollarsoft. It's also got Firebird on there from 1984. That was the loading screen, which at the moment I'm reading in quite a fast megahertz just to get it loaded nice and quickly. But I had to do it this way in order for you to have a look at the loading screen. So with the power of editing, let's move on to the actual game itself. Once loaded, you get presented with this screen. You've got your usual redefine your keys, or J for Kempston. So I think we're going to go for Kempston today, so why not use the J? And you get hit with this bleeper sound. Interesting screen you've got there, it has to be said. The high scores are obviously on the left, with Firebird being the hardest high score to hit. The rest of probably people who are involved crashed there, which is the only one with those sort of letters, but it's done in an art type as design. It is indeed a sequel game, really. Sort of Sam Stout, I think, or something to do with that. Right, so let's press the usual options. If you hold down the button, you can scroll through all this pretty quickly. Tells you exactly what it is that you've got to do. For screen 1, enter code 000 before you can play it. K to change controls, and S to start game. So, because we haven't got a code for the first screen, we just need to get going. And as soon as we do start, we're presented here, and we're well, where are we? Oh, I've got to activate my controller, haven't I? Start that again, shall we? So we're going to enter the code again, which is 3 O's, not zeros, and it won't start. Now, you've got to collect all the little bombs going in and around the screen, which, to climb rope, it says you to press up. You can over jump it, bounce off, and end up going down that there. So it's got a bit of beaky in the edge snatches about it. We'll try and collect a few more. I do find this game rather difficult to play, to be honest. These come at sort of not regular but random intervals, and you've only got a few seconds in order to get across. Yeah, you can over. It's one of those games. Chucky Egg, that's it, Chucky Egg. The way it bounces off the walls is a bit like Chucky Egg. So you have to time your jumps fairly precisely in order to get around the first screen. And I'm going to give it a good go, but say for instance, if you want to jump that gap, unlike, you can just about make out your character there just by the, well, what looks to be a Taj Mahal. You've got to jump about here in order to land on that platform, and that is kind of confusing, and you've got a time limit as well that runs down. So I gave it a good play, and you pretty get annoyed with that tune. The bleep music does kind of annoying. I'm going to be honest, I didn't like it. I don't know why they got 6 out of 10 for, because as platformers go, it was tricky, difficult, frustratingly hard, and the randomness of those platforms can determine on how much time you've got left. You can be waiting ages and before a platform you're able to jump on comes, so you end up losing loads of time. For that reason, I only gave that a 3 out of 10. It's a low rating for me, I'm afraid. It's a no from Retro. Let's have something a little different now. Something a little different indeed. Producer Silversoft. Price £5.95. A bit of a theme going on here. Use of computers 75%, graphics 79%, playability 81%, getting started 82%, addictive qualities 82%, and value money 80%. Its overall rating was then 80%. Sorry, couldn't help it. Got carried away. Gilf, guess what? That's the +2 spectrum in action now for sound, and the sound is absolutely phenomenal on that. As you can tell, one of my favourite little guilty pleasure games. I'll have to go through that. I'll have to do a top list of my favourite games to play on the Spectrums, and that'll be a tough call for me to do a list on that, because I wouldn't know which ones to pick. I wouldn't want to leave anything out because of our number of games I'm going to. Right, this game is called Trouble is Brewing, and believe me, that means trouble for me, because it's probably going to be one when I do rather badly. There we go. There's your loading screen, and you've got the Silversoft normal text scrolling, but a nice little colourful Trouble Brewing sign. High score is 0, and that was scored by Stan. He's the man, and I've got to try and beat that, so that shouldn't be hard to do. Starting screen looks pretty neat, doesn't it? Yeah. I've got to figure out what to do now. Right, we've got to go around collecting items that appear randomly underneath. Touch anything, you die. It's a timed game, so you've got a certain amount of sequences to get through. I mean, that is just ridiculous. So basically, I've got to go over the other side of the screen, and I've got to follow the bird in order to get that. And I've got to time it so as I don't catch him, and if you go too quickly and you touch the joystick, I'm dying so quickly it's unreal. Nevertheless, we will try and get our first object. Effectively I just died pretty quickly, so we'll try again, because that first go was indeed disastrous. Now you can't go down those gaps because you will die, so you've got to work your way down the ladder somehow. Oh no, he goes up there, does he? So you'd think you'd be able to get that was hanging down from this side, wouldn't you? If you try it, it won't happen. Got my first item. I've got one item anyway, so we can go back up here. And now the bird is actually randomly stopped for a few seconds. I've got 2 fruits. I don't know how many fruits I've got in here. You get plenty of lives at the bottom there. I've got a score of 100, so that means I'm on the score sheet. Now, I've got a bad feeling he's going to come down this ladder. Yeah. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to jump over that. Yes, I have. I've managed it. Oh, no. Oh, no, I'm stuck. Oh, no. Right, so it'd be nice just to be able to take a shortcut, wouldn't it? But it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. You can only go really in one direction. You're never going to be able to make it into that ladder in time. And, well, it looks like it's a worm. Things do pause occasionally. Now that spring's going to come this way. That means I've got to hope that it's going uphill. So, unfortunately for me, this is where I'm pretty much doomed. Oh, it's so frustrating. You're trying so hard not to lose a life or to try and get things right, but you can't legislate for things like that spring coming when it comes, and you know, you can get You can get one, maybe two fruits, but you only have to. You don't even have to hit a pixel. You have to hit part of the colour of the colour clash, and you die. So after playing that a number of times, I didn't like it, and I'm afraid that only as well. I gave it a 3.5 out of 10, and did enjoy it. Felt it sluggish slow. It started off so well, and it went downhill from there pretty quickly. I'm being a bit of a Grinch, aren't I, with these ratings on these games from 1984, and it was the early years, but I've already given one good rating out, so you know, to something that probably wouldn't have ordinarily got a rating so high. So let's have a look at something a little bit more festive then. Time for some sort of a special delivery. Okay, a little bit more festive. Right, it's going to be a Christmas game. It's by Creative Sparks. It would have cost you £6.95. Oh, we've gone up in price. Shall we take advantage of Christmas and put the prices up? Oh, that's indeed what they've probably done. The first 3 games that we related was £5.95, and now all of a sudden something to do with Christmas and a Christmassy game goes up a pound in price to £6.95. How festive is that? Yes, prices go up for Christmas, don't they? They never come down. Use of computer. Oh, I'm getting old. I'm getting grumpy. It's great, isn't it? 75% graphics, 70% playability, 70% getting started, 69% addictive quality, 72% value for money. Happy Christmas, everybody. Bah. I've got no rights to be jolly. Overall then, 71%. What is the game we're talking about? Well, I've already told you the name of the game. I've also given you a big clue what it's going to be about. And hopefully we're going to get to see a loading screen, if indeed there is one. And for that extra pound, I hope to see one. Indeed there is. And actually, that's pretty good, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, do we have sound? Not yet, we don't. But I'll tell you what we do have. What a selection you've got there. Sinclair, Kempston, you know, and all, as well as keyboard, plus 0. So what we're going to do is go down, go to Kempston. Oh no, oh, 2. I see, 2. And S to start game. So with the Kempston enable, let's have a good close look at this game. I believe that there isn't any sound to it other than the collecting of the sound. There you are, Santa Claus, parked on top of the house with Rudolph pulling your sleigh. And the first part of the game is where you've got to catch things. This is as far as you get in sound. A little bleeper tune at the start. I'm sure you all recognise that. I don't, never heard it before. Oh, dreadful. Press fire to select your level. Well, I don't want to, I just want to get playing. Okay. So a bit of music. Right. Clouds are dangerous and parcels are not. And I've already missed my first parcel. Collect all white parcels. Do not collect the red ones. Once you collect enough of these parcels, as you can see, you get bags as well. These mountains are dangerous. I've got 2 so far. If you see a red one, I don't collect anything that's fallen from a red whatever it is that's chucking them out in the sky. Looks like it's a plane, doesn't it, just dropping it. It's one block movement at a time. We'll ignore that one. And then once you've got past that far, you need to land on a roof. You will march down the chimney, and as you march down the chimney, as soon as it starts moving, you will get things coming up and down, and you need to avoid them, and you need to get to the bottom of the chimney. Oh, and if you don't manage it, well then you haven't delivered your parcel. You'll just have to move on to the next house and try again. It's pretty easy to land the Santa in his little sleigh. We'll try and get to the bottom of the house. Some move faster than others as you get out. So you got stacks of chimney. Oh, I nearly made it to the bottom then. I was so close. Well, I'll try again. We're going to get to the bottom of this sooner or later. Oh no, I went right across. How did I manage to mess that one up? But I did. I've got a good feeling about this house. You have time. I'm just making... That's it, we've made it. Oh. Every house can be a little different, but you've effectively got to avoid the children and get that key down the bottom. So, when the door's open, hopefully if you make... Well, oh, no. I managed to deliver a tree there, but I could have done with getting the key. If you get to the tree, you deliver a parcel, that's great. But then you move on to the next section, and you need to catch some more... Well, you need to stock up on your big bag. Avoid that one. Now it gets a little bit more interesting as you get further on, because all of a sudden the weather changes, and hopefully I'll get to demonstrate that in a moment. I haven't managed to crash yet. I'm doing rather well, aren't I? But don't worry, I won't disappoint. It will all go horribly wrong very shortly, because that's the kind of player I am. Hopeless. So even though the scrolling is blocky, it's okay. The graphics are quite nice. Yeah, it's monotone. And, oh, I'm going to get... Look at this. The houses are pretty easy to land on. Just get in line. Get your wheels in line. And hopefully, I'm not going to die too often. It's not too hard to get down the ladder. Oh, you just need to be a bit faster reacting. Okay. Well, I didn't get to show you too much of the game. Is it any good? Well, they gave it 7 out of 10, didn't they? And I can't interrupt it. Oh yes I can. I'll turn you down. I'm going to totally agree with Crash there. 7 out of 10. It was actually quite enjoyable, but in a frustrating type of way. Because a lot of the times the mistakes you made are your own. It was fair, collision is fair, and it's festive, so why not? Do you agree? Please leave your comments in the comments below and tell me what you thought of this festive game from 1984, special delivery. And I've had one special delivery this week so far. Yes, I've had the new Crash Annual 2022, which I showed. I absolutely love it. Of course, going into my collection of annuals now, and I'm also a sponsor, shall we say. I'll get involved with Fusion because I buy them on a regular basis, shall we say. So I'm glad to be involved with that because I love the Crash magazines, and I really do appreciate what Fusion and Chris and his team, or whoever it is he's got involved in the background, doing there. I can't mention all the names, I'd be here forever, but please get involved and bring back the 80s all over again and enjoy those wonderful magazines. And they are pretty good because he tries to keep it down to as original format as possible, including the Simon Butler screen, you know, those pictures, that pixel art by Simon Butler, and of course you've got playing tips by some very shady character Nick Roberts, who does the playing tips, and he often puts old tips in, of course. Right, it's been a while, but let's bring it back. Let's bring a Christmassy scrap of a game that's quite common on both systems, and all systems do a good port of this game, so it's going to be pretty hard to judge, of Commodore versus Spectrum. And what game is it we're going to show you now? Well, I'll show you in a second. Just stay tuned for Commodore versus Spectrum. Who's going to win it this time round and get a Christmas win under their belts? There's a loading screen. Arcanine. That's classic Imagine game, why not? we're going to have a look at the Commodore version, and we're going to compare it to the Spectrum version, and we're going to choose, well, I'm going to choose which version I prefer. And of course, while the Commodore loads, I thought we'd enjoy a bit of the SID sound, because you do have the added bonus of the loading sound while Arcanide is loading with the Commodore. A nice intro tune, to be quite honest, and quite a nice loading screen. But how does that compare to the Spectrum Arcanide loading screen? Here it comes. You get this little intro, don't you, on the Spectrum while it's loading. You don't get that, of course. That is the Spectrum version, and yeah, it's pretty pixel nice, but not a lot to it. And there's the Commodore version. So in the battle of the logos, Commodore 1, Spectrum 0. Because it's colourfully larger, and it's that use of greys, isn't it, on the Commodore? That colour use of greys, you sort of light grey, dark grey, kind of helps it a little bit. And yeah, I think we're nearly loaded. Interesting starting tune, quite bouncy. Got to be careful because it tends to pick this up quite clearly. Give it a bit of volume, hopefully not too loud. I do need to get myself a decibel meter, don't I? That is very good. And that's where the SID chip comes into its own, mate. That sound is amazing, actually. But will the game hold up as well? Right, I'm going to go for, well, we've got devices, haven't we? So I presume you have to hold the shift key up and down. What do you paddle? How do you paddle? Oh, I see. Right, you've got immense players. Options are to follow. So I just need to work out now how to start it. I did miss a little starting sequence out there, but I managed to start it. And hold on, I'm in the wrong joystick port, but I haven't even had the move yet. Am I going to lose a life before I can change the joystick? You never know which port it is. Oh dear. Ah, got ya. Whoa, that's pretty fast. Oh, I've got a bonus, so I've stuck to the thing itself. Well, it's quite controllable, isn't it? Oh, wow. Good explosion. It makes a change with no A1 music in the background, doesn't it? I'm surprised, actually, you don't get some sort of SID tune, but I suppose for this type of game, I've got the wider bat. And I'm doing rather well. That's all I need to do is rather well. I'll give I presume them are like hurricanes at the top that could... I've lost my wide bat. What's that? Is that the stick? Oh, I usually have a problem trying to get there. My score's going up quite nicely. But I want it to go slow. Well, I've got the a bonus where it sticks to your bat so I can launch it from anywhere. And hopefully, I'm going to get that bonus. Oh, some sort of dotted line comes appeared there. Nice intro as you start the game. God, quick, isn't it? Right, let's have a look at the Spectrum version, shall we? Let's flip over to the Spectrum version. Just waiting for the Spectrum 1 to power up. And we just quickly flew the loading screen. Okay, you get the intro story. And it's slow. It's really slow. Now, I presume because I haven't... What are the keys? Ah, Oh, the keys are at the bottom, are they? Well, it's nowhere near as colourful as the Commodore one is with the tile background that you get on the Commodore. However, the bullets are... You still got a good explosion though. Oh, I've got a weaponised bat, so I've got to find a way to fire. Enters for fire. Oh. One more go, come on. So the ball bounced, the graphics are quite good. Shame it hasn't got a tile background. However, I know that I've played versions with a tile background. Oh, and you've got that funny thing at the bottom as well, that you can move on to the next level after a certain amount of blocks. That's what that's for. So let's go back to the Commodore version, just have a quick look at that one again. Look how good I've got. Wow. And a hands-free as well. Oh, sorry. It's got a demo. I like the fact it's got a demo. That's great. That would sell the game itself. So we basically have to start over again. But I wanted to start over again for a reason, because I wanted to show you the starting sequence, which you get a ship come in, shoot that, and then we get to play the game. And it's the sound effects are, you know, good, aren't they? So what do you think? Do you prefer the Spectrum version, or do you prefer the Commodore version? Which one of these two is going to win today? I got the slow ball. We haven't got time to wait for the slow ball. I'll get that though. And we've moved on to the next level, so you don't have to complete the screen, do you? To get, oh look, the tile background changes per level, and you get different tones as well. Oh dear. I don't know what to say. I better apologise in advance. But here comes my verdict. Which one of the two do you think is the better version? It was almost a no contest. Spectrum 1 plays rather well, I admit that. I do enjoy playing the Spectrum 1. But you have to be honest, and the Commodore one was just way better. It played just as good, quicker in some versions. Let me just turn that down. Quicker in some versions, the tile background, the SIG sound, the actual bonuses you get were great just as well. You've moved on to the next level and the tile background changed again, rather than just a plain coloured background. The blocks had a shine to them. And even though it didn't have a tune or such, it had good sound effects. Just showing off now, aren't you, Commodore? So that is the reason why you could clearly see which version was the better one on there. There was a no contest. It was a Commodore victory today. I have to say that goes to Commodore. And I presume you would agree with me there. If you don't, let me know why you think the Spectrum one is better. Maybe there's something I've missed out and you'd like to add to that. So, there's only one thing left for me to do, and that's to close the show off. And as always, I hope you enjoyed today's show. Oh, I do like to close the show off with a tune from the AY version. Let's mute this. Mute. You're showing off now. I forgot where the mute button is. Back to the toast rack then. Right, this has been the Retro Robbins Show. This has been almost like a Christmas special. I am still working on, now that's what they call AY, and that's going to take a lot of cutting, I'm afraid. I'm 3/4 done and I'm kind of stuck. I need help a little bit, but you know, I'll get on and I'll get through it. As always, I hope you've enjoyed today's show. Please like, subscribe and share. Help the channel grow, and for more interesting Commodore versus Spectrum suggestions, please name a few that if you know that I haven't already done them, because I've done quite a few. I was doing them at 3 at a time at one time, wasn't I, back in the last year when nearly a year and a half since I started it, and I was doing versus Spectrum. So yeah. Oh look. Yeah, it's showing off now, isn't it? Now, I want to sing you a Christmas carol, but that's how you lose subscribers, not gain them, so I'm not going to. In the meantime, for me, Wayne, Retro Robbins, everyone, have a very, very Merry Christmas and a prosperous, COVID-free Happy New Year. Be well, and depending on when you watch this, hopefully have a nice holiday weekend, or if you are working, don't work too hard, enjoy your Christmas, have a drink on me if you must, or just have a relax on me. Hope you enjoy your retro. Remember, 8-bit is where it's at, and Retro Robbins loves the 8-bit systems, and he loves you too. Thank you all, and it's been a pleasure to entertain you all throughout the year, and hopefully I'll carry on till next year as well to give you some more Retro Robbins. A bit of wacky silliness from me. Once again, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a nice Christmas. Take care, and bye for now.